Members, after consultation with the parliamentarian and after going over what people heard as far as discussion, Senator Campbell, your point of order is well taken and is sustained. The chair recognizes Senator Hager for a motion.
To concur with House amendments to Senate Bill 5. I move to concur with House amendments to Senate Bill 5.
Senator Watson, can you hear me? Speaker required.
This ruling that is my understanding from your previous ruling that if a third point of order was sustained,
Senator Watson, what is... Senator Watson, can you hear me? Senator Watson, for what purpose do you rise? Okay, fine. Senator Hager, you're recognized for a motion.
I move to concur with
President,
amendments to Senate Bill 5.
Mr. President, I have a parliamentary inquiry.
I've just recognized you twice. Can you hear me?
Mr. President, it's my understanding from your previous ruling that if there was a third finding of violation, it was going to be submitted to the body. The third point of order would be submitted to the body. That's one ruling that I understood you to make. And this, my understanding of another ruling that you made was if there was found to be a third violation, it would be submitted to the body to determine whether or not the filibuster would come to an end.
Senator, you heard your own members say that there were two violations, and a third would result in the ending of the filibuster. One was germane, the germaneness. The second was the assistance by Senator Ellis, and the third was lack of germaneness on the discussion.
Your previous ruling was that if there were in fact a finding of 3 violations, it would be submitted to the body to determine whether or not you were in the filibuster. No, he's not.
Senator Watson, I chose to go ahead and make a ruling myself. So the ruling, I sustained the point of order by Senator Campbell.
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr. President.
State your inquiry.
Doesn't that then require the matter be submitted to the body to determine when?
Senator Watson, this same point was the point that we had a lot of conversation between Senator West and the parliamentarian and myself, that under the rules, either or we can submit it to the body.
Mr. President, parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry, sir.
Isn't it, the statement that you're making now applies to a ruling on a point of order. I understand that you have chosen to rule on the point of order as opposed to submitting that to the body. But once you have made a determination that there are the 3 warnings, or whatever you want to, that matter must then be submitted to the body to determine whether there will be an end of the filibuster.
Absolutely right. Yes, to submit it to the body. Kurt, you're absolutely right. You're right.
Mr. President. Mr. President.
Senator Watson.
I move that the ruling of the chair be overruled, and I seek to appeal the ruling of the chair.
Mr. President. Mr. President.
One moment. Senator Watson, any member of the Senate has a right to appeal a ruling by the chair, and you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. And parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
It's my understanding that this is a debatable motion.
That is correct.
Start as part of this debate.
Mr. President. Mr. President. Mr. President.
Members, with a motion by Senator Watson to appeal the decision by the chair, then I'm going to step down and put Senator Duncan in the chair.
Mr. President.
Senator Estes, if you could just hold on a minute, please.
Thank you.
All right, members and members and persons in the gallery, if you could listen to me very closely. Governor Dewhurst, at the beginning of the session today, as we do many times, read the rules with regard to the decorum required in the Senate. This is a very serious issue. This is a very serious debate. You're here to observe, and the members cannot accurately debate with disruptions in the chamber. So there will be strict enforcement with regard to disruptions in the chamber so that the Senate can debate this important issue.
Mr. President.
If there is another outburst, as we observed earlier, then we will request that the gallery be cleared.
President. Mr. President.
What purpose?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Mr. President, As noted by my absence earlier, I was not here during the conversations and the discussions on the process that would be used should we get to this point during the filibuster. I would request that the President inform me so that I may be able to make a decision about what the process was, what did I miss before I arrived here, so that I may be able to cast a vote.
Senator, the process is the process for a filibuster stated in the rules, and as we have gone through the day, there have been certain rulings and on different points of order or motions made during the day, and there is no process in place other than the rules.
Mr. President, parliamentary inquiry. Since I was not able to be here on the floor, since I was at my father's funeral, I ask that you please let me know what were the 3 motions or what were the 3 points of order so that I may understand. I was not here, and I do not know, and I was not looking online because I was at my father's funeral. Would the chair please advise me of the 3 instances of the points of order so that I may understand, even in the most basic way, the debate about to begin?
All right, Senator, in the beginning of the session today, there were 3, during the filibuster, there were 3 points of order that were raised. One was on germaneness, and that was sustained. The other one was on aid by a member involving Senator Ellis and Senator Davis. That one was sustained. The last one, as you were here, was on germaneness. The issue before the body at this time is an appeal of the motion for the chair, and that's why I'm in the chair right now.
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr.
State your inquiry.
Mr. President, since I was not here, I understand there were 2 points of order. Would the chair please advise me of the first point of order? I know the subject matter, but who called the point of order?
Nichols. Senator Van de Putte, Senator Nichols called the first point of order on germaneness.
And that, Mr. President, was sustained.
That was sustained.
And the second point of order, parliamentary inquiry, Mr. President, the second point of order was called by which senator? And I am sorry, I was not here.
I believe Senator Williams called the point of order on aiding a member of the Senate during a filibuster.
And was parliamentary inquiry, Mr. President, was the second point of order also one that was called on germaneness?
No, it was called on, I believe, Senate Rule 403 with regard to aiding a member, and Senate Rule 401, I believe.
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr. President, that second point of order that was called by Senator Williams on assisting a senator during a filibuster, and that was sustained?
That was sustained by a vote of the body.
It was sustained by not the decision of the chair?
The chair left the vote to the body.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President.